Canada. Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.
Good evening, Toronto Maple Leaf fans. Welcome back to another post-game edition of Leafs Unfiltered podcast, coming to you on a Wednesday night after a 3-0 shutout win for the Blue and White over the Vegas Golden Knights at Scotiabank Arena. Here, as always, with my co-host Caroline.
Good evening to you, Josh.
Dub tonight. Vibes got to be great. Got to be great tonight. That was a fun one.
Life is good today.
Yeah.
Life was very good.
That got me all pumped up. That was a great game to watch. Just from obviously being shorthanded with the kind of half the forward group was Marley's players, and no one had any idea what to expect. Vegas kind of been a top team all year, and the fact that they were able to pull that one out, unreal. I'm jacked up right now. Yep.
Yeah, really hard to predict what we were going to see going into that game tonight.
Yeah.
And it was grit. We saw pure determination, I think, from our squad, and we willed that win to us. So.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's and I think it's been tough to see during certain games or parts of games where it's a lot of Leaf fans are like, well, I look at the record. It doesn't really feel like we're any different than previous years with Keith. But a game like tonight, if you aren't able to notice a difference in terms of how Berube gets these guys to play, how they play defensively, the grit that they show, standing up for each other. I don't want to say it's day and night, but it's a pretty damn noticeable difference to me. And it's been that way almost from opening night, even if the results weren't always there. It just feels like they've got, whether it's the guys they brought in the blue line, the Tanev, the OELs, just some of the guys that are just more bought in, other acquisitions like Lawrence, just a lot more confidence with a lot of these players that were brought in, the new acquisitions. And you're starting to see a little bit of it trickle over to the John Tavares, the Mitch Marner, the Nylanders, showing a little bit of sandpaper, Johnny Toronto especially.
Big time. Tavares getting into it there. That was unexpected.
Yeah.
Got into that scrum, dropped a guy.
That was the first time I think he's ever grabbed a guy in a scrum and actually tried to inflict even a little bit of pain on someone. That was good to see.
It was great to see. And I think they said that we had 28 block shots. The Leafs had 28 block shots tonight. And that's that
ton.
Yeah, that's that culture that we wanted to sort of percolate down from players like Tanev, from players, Lawrence, these new guys that they brought in that, like you said, bring that physicality, and they're really affecting us. It's really looking good out there. I think this looks like a playoff, true performer. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but
No, I don't think you got to pump the brakes.
Good.
Obviously, we don't know what will happen come playoffs. Obviously, we don't want to go too far in terms of making guarantees. But, this team is a tougher team to play against. And based on what we're seeing, it should translate into playoff success, because that kind of playing style and the way they're just kind of built from the back end out. Goaltending, obviously, much improved. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The upgrades on the blue line, it's definitely built to be a more competitive team, a more effective team come postseason. Yeah. But going back to my earlier point, I think it feels like a lot of fans have been very, and maybe they still are, but I think a lot of fans have been late to kind of acknowledge the differences in how this team is built, and maybe equally important or more important, how Berube expects them to play and what he needs from every single player, every shift. And if they don't give it to him, that kind of playing style, they're going to get reamed out on the bench or not be playing.
Totally. Yeah. Even like the new guys tonight looked like they were really, Gruberkin. How do you say his name?
Gribyankin.
Gribyankin.
Gribyankin, yeah. Gribyankin. I've heard both pronunciations. I think we'll have to give him a couple more games before everyone is unanimous in the pronunciation, but I think it's Gribyankin.
Okay. I like that Gribyankin, though. That has like a nice twang to it.
Right?
But yeah, like he brought a big physical presence out there tonight. He got into it. Looked like he was going to have a goal, have our second of the night.
He was very close to one. Yeah.
Very close. And like that's such a funny Leaf script that we seem to get again and again is the guys that are coming to play for the first night, one of their first few NHL games, and they get on the scoreboard like we saw with our buddy Minton tonight.
Fraser Minton. And the guy played over he played over 15 minutes, and I get it. Everyone's ice time, was a little bit higher because of what happened to Nyes, him leaving early. But it didn't really trickle down to everybody. Like we had our buddy Nick Robertson at 10 minutes. Gribyankin was only at 11. Alex Steves at 8. So Fraser Minton, I mean, obviously playing the center position probably helped his cause to get more minutes with obviously Matthews and Domi not there, but it still felt like Berube. And I think even going back to training camp, he was definitely a guy that Berube was not shy about, like, showering him with praise. And I think he's always been a favorite of Berube. So I think he could have made the team out of camp had he not gotten injured. And I think now we're seeing that this kid's got some jam to him. He's a good player, good two-way player. He could be a good fit for that third, fourth line center role.
Kind of something we've been looking for. So I like to hear that.
I believe so. Yeah.
But you probably heard Berube's comments on Minton pre-game, right?
Yep.
How he said he would like, or was this maybe Treliving? Said he would like Minton to sort of develop a little bit more, balance out. In the AHL.
I think that was Berube. Someone might correct us, but I think that was Berube. And I think that was kind of the obvious, probably not ideal that whatever it was, he played only 4 or 5 games with the Marlies, and now he's playing 15 minutes in the NHL. Probably, you can make the argument it's a little bit too early. But I mean, I think we see with other NHL teams that, when you have injuries, you promote someone who's deserving and you let him give you a reason to demote him again. Like tonight, that he didn't do that. He fit in very well.
Totally. Yeah.
On to game 2 for him. He
looked better to me than Gribyankin. I'm going to go with Gabronkin for tonight, that pronunciation. But
I obviously will not be correcting you anymore because I'm not 100% confident either.
Big G. But I do think it was maybe Daniel said in the comments that he thinks it was maybe Treliving. And the reason I think it may have been Treliving that mentioned that was I was a little surprised that Treliving factored in on when he thought guys should move up from the Marlies when they, I think that is more of a coach's call. You can correct me if you're wrong, but
more often than not. Yeah.
But he did, whoever it was that made the comments did praise Minton for his high hockey IQ, said that the way he conducts himself on the ice and even on the bench, he sounds like a coach. So, I think a guy like that will have a bit of an easier time transitioning to the big leagues. He's got those 4 games from last season in his back pocket, so that might help a little bit when he comes into this big center role. And it was great to see him getting on the board tonight. We really needed that first goal.
Amazing, for sure. Yeah.
That was huge.
I was starting to look, a little bit. The ice was tilted in the first period, and even in the second, outshot quite dramatically. So. Got a couple key goals, killed off some power plays, which was really impressive. PK is looking good. But just top to bottom, impressive win. I mean, Tanev and McCabe were unreal. I like Dewar's game. I like Lorenz, the physicality there. I thought Nylander was involved pretty much start to finish. I thought,
he was.
I think Mitch just played a good, safe game. Not that he got on the board and was really all that kind of dangerous offensively, but good on the PK, good two-way game.
Yeah.
Um,
I think he got 2 points too, right? Like that's for
did he
3
get
goals.
2?
Maybe not. I think he
I
did.
think. Yeah, he did get a helper on the Holmberg empty netter. I didn't realize that. Yeah, he had 2, and Nylander 2-point night. Tavares had 2 helpers. So, I
Wow.
mean, all the big boys that were available tonight got on the board. Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
very nice to see.
yeah. I think we'd be remiss to say if we didn't mention that in the first and in a lot of the second period, the game looked a little bit wonky. Like it was a little
Mm,
sloppy.
yep.
A lot of passing to no one from the Leafs and from the Golden Knights. I think that the way that the Golden Knights played us today, they almost played down to what was happening out there. Like it
Mm.
was kind of chippy. It was not very clean.
No, it was very chippy. Very chippy. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
for
a
like
lot of hits that like either didn't get called or ones that like a lot of
yeah,
like after the whistle scrums, and it's great to see the Leafs are able to be in a game like that requires that, because
totally.
usually
Yeah,
they've
that's a
been
refreshing thing.
they've either been avoiding those kind of altercations, or they just kind of let the other team kind of sort of bully them around, bully their goalie, knock their goalie. But there was a lot of, to use the old Brian Burke word, truculence. A lot of it tonight.
Oh,
A
I
lot
like
of it.
that.
Yeah.
Truculence. I forgot
Yeah. A
about
little way back play back there.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we have to kind of hit on, I know Joshua had a comment just asking, or a question, asking
Yeah.
our thoughts about the Matthew Nyes hit. Do you want to tee us up there? What was your thoughts on the hit, and then I guess the lack of a major penalty?
When I saw it, I thought immediately that guy was going to be in the box 5 minutes, maybe a 10-minute misconduct.
Yep.
And I thought we were going to be seeing a lot, similar to what we saw on Saturday night with Reeves. It looked like it was a pretty direct hit to the head. The
Yep.
guy left his feet. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He was off. He was in the air.
Well, and it's
So
funny you say that. Like, I'll let you get back to kind of wrapping
no,
up
it's
your
okay.
opinion on that. But the panel, like on the broadcast, I don't know if you paid attention to it, and the amount of even like Leaf beat writers, broadcasters, the amount of people that actually look at both of those hits, the Ryan Reeves and then this Zach Whitecloud one on Nyes, and say, oh yeah, you can tell why Reeves got 5 games and why Whitecloud only got 2 minutes. Like, I'm sorry, but you're a moron if you believe that. You're an absolute moron if you look at those 2 hits, like one after the other, and you say, yeah, you see what Reeves did there? That's bad. What Whitecloud did? Hockey hit. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you could say Reeves was a little bit worse if you want, and we can argue over that. It's probably semantics. But to say, yeah, I know why that got 5 games, and I know why that only got 2 minutes. No, you can't.
Yeah.
Almost identical hit.
And the call on the ice was made as a major call. They called it a major penalty, and then they reviewed it, and then they took it back, which to me, I cannot believe that they found any evidence that suggested it should be overturned. Like, in no way did I see a camera angle that didn't look like they kept going back to that he didn't leave his feet. And to
but
me,
his feet are off the ice. Like, you see his feet off the ice. Like, I don't know how you say, like, what are you trying to say? That's a hockey hit, and it's just the way his body leaned into him that his feet came off the ice. Like, on both occasions, Darnell Nurse and Matthew Nyes have to be accountable for keeping their head up. Like, that is something that even 10 years ago, but for sure 20, 30 years ago, both those hits probably aren't even a penalty. Not even a penalty. And I'm not even saying that would be where we want to go back to in today's game. Because
was Don Cherry calling those games?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If Cherry's seeing both those hits, he's like, that shouldn't even be a penalty at all. What are you doing? But like right now, obviously, I get it. You got to kind of protect the player, and headshots are obviously a big focus, not just in hockey. Football does the same thing. Anything where you're hitting the other player in the head gets called immediately, whether there's intent or not. But the fact that so many people are calling clear intent on Ryan Reeves and 0 intent on Whitecloud, ridiculous. ridiculous. Like the only way they don't call that like a major, probably also a game. The only way I can rationalize it is that George Peros was the one who took that phone call from the official tonight. Because he's the guy in department safety that obviously has a vendetta against the Maple Leafs. Yeah.
Yeah. So they did go to the situation room.
Yeah.
I think
and reverse it. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, is it not a discussion between the refs on the ice and the situation room when a call has to be made like that?
Probably not. I think the situation room probably wants to support the officials with the call they made on the ice as much as possible.
Right.
But if they have, I don't know, there's probably like 10 to 20 people all looking at different angles.
Yeah.
So if they all say, yeah, definitively, that's only a 2-minute penalty, I don't think there's going to be much of a back and forth with the officials.
Yeah.
I think they kind of just go with what they're seeing on the tape and just saying, yeah, you guys got it wrong, which is crazy because like to reverse it, there should be something definitive that tells you the officials got it wrong. And I don't see how that could have been possible.
Me neither. I think it's really interesting that we have these 2 hits that happened in back-to-back games for the Leafs.
Yeah.
And that there's going to be a lot of reporting, sort of juxtaposing the hits, comparing them in the next couple days. And I sure hope they fire up that Sportsnet panel and they make them seem like big old idiots. Like Sam Cosentino coming out there, like he was on, like it's supposed to be a national, a Canadian broadcast, first of all.
Yeah.
Like, first of
all,
all,
and then you could tell like how like he was like, I guess because like he said, yeah, we actually spoke to the situation room. It was like a quick 20-second phone call. And yeah, they basically convinced us that, yeah, it was not, he didn't leave his feet. And as he's saying this, we're watching the replay with Zach Whitecloud's 2 skates off the ice. But no, of course he didn't leave it. I don't like, what was he doing? How did his feet get off the ice if he didn't purposely leave his feet, or leave the ice? So, and then you got like Colby Armstrong and I forget the former goalie for Edmonton. I forget his name, but the guy like the long, who?
No. Keeley? No,
guy with the long hair. I'm sure someone in a second here is going to refresh me here. But like, and then all those guys are like, yeah, thank you.
He's a goalie?
Like he was, for like maybe 5 games.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was like Colby Armstrong was like, yeah, I kind of see your point now. Like, no, you don't. Like Ryan Reeves got 5 games because Darnell Nurse came up bloody, and he's Ryan Reeves. He has a track record. He has a prior, I think 4 times he's been suspended. Like that's all that is.
And the last time was in 2021.
Yeah, it's been a while. He's been a good boy, right? Like, yeah. But because that's on record, they're able to justify it. But they hit themselves. If you take away who was the guy throwing the hit, they're very, very similar.
And God damn it, we needed Nye so bad. Like to kick a team when they're down. That is the definite. Like that is what we saw tonight. And Nye's not returning. Like that's a huge blow. Not to mention we went on the PK from that situation, which well, that
was crazy. Like because obviously the Simone Benoit I think got the 4-minute penalty for that, and then Whitecloud only the 2. So that was just like salt in the wound, right? Like it's like okay, he's not getting thrown out, but really Vegas is somehow on a power play now.
That was wild. Like I actually was gonna say this. My head was spinning like almost all game. For a predominantly 1-0 game, you don't expect that much tension, that much ups and downs. It was like they said this on the broadcast. It was like a playoff style atmosphere in there, and for us to be fielding our AHL team basically,
right?
And that was unexpected. So
yeah. Actually, I didn't hear. Apparently, PK Subban had a typical, I guess, tweet that he sends out. He has some hot takes where I actually kind of feel that he's got a good point or coming from a good angle, but I'd say 80% of his takes are just like completely ludicrous. So I definitely understand where Daniel's coming from. And I can't wait to see the comment he made because, he's notorious for his anti-Leaf comments and takes for sure.
Huh.
Nick Robertson looked horrible again. Yes, he did, Crazy Shady. Yes, he
Oh,
did.
yes.
Here's probably the worst Leaf player on the ice.
He
Like-
didn't fall as much tonight, to be perfectly honest.
No, that's true. That's
Usually,
true.
I keep a little tally in my head. And yeah,
you
no, it
shot
wasn't-
every time he falls that game?
Yeah, I wasn't racking those up tonight.
No. But he
but-
has just like awful tendency to just make the softest plays in his own end. And it just like, there's an easy play there, Nick, off the boards and out, bud. And then he's like, no, I'm going to try and like put this through the defenseman's legs here and see if I can go coast to coast here. And he gets caught so many times, the amount of like giveaways in the defensive zone for that guy, like the D must hate him. Because like if you're on with Nick Robertson, if you're a Tanev, you're a McKay, Benoit, you see Nick Robertson as one of the forwards in the D zone. You're like, okay, like he's not going to do anything. He's not going to block a shot. He's not going to deter anybody. So we really got to have our eyes and ears peeled here.
Okay, so you've made your case. Nick Robertson maybe deserves the bus. We like to do this bit where we talk about who rides the bus to the next game and who gets the belt. We haven't seen who's gotten the belt tonight on Instagram. I don't know if that post has dropped yet, but why don't we
Probably
go around the room?
but I won't look.
Who'd you say?
It probably has. Like they've probably given
That's
it out, but I
probably
haven't
right.
seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet. So
Nope.
why don't you go quickly? Who's got your
Well-
belt? Oh, okay. I thought we were getting the spoiler
well,
from
I mean,
Daniel.
that's who I'm going to take. I'm going to take Joseph Wall, second career shutout. Guy was, good. He was really good. I think he faced
Very good,
30 plus shots tonight.
Yeah.
When
Well,
I heard that
especially
he
in
was
period two, it was like a shooting gallery
yeah,
for
he's
Vegas.
tilted.
Yeah.
I don't love the way that Wall sometimes, it seems like he loses track of the puck a lot more than most goalies. Like the number of times it looks like he's checking his net to see if a puck went in. It just takes confidence away from fans, probably his teammates too. But at the end of the day, he was very solid tonight. I would bet a lot of money that he gets that belt tonight.
Oh yeah, I think for a shutout, it should be an automatic. I mean, I guess they could give it, as Daniel saying, they could give it to Minton.
That's another good
First
shout.
goal in first game. It could be either one of those two guys, but
Yeah, it's probably going to Minton. They like to do this. They're kind of doing the
Yeah.
honor, they don't always give it to the best player on the ice or the player that, let's say, wins it for the team. They like to award those milestones, like we saw them give it to OEL that night. The night before, we saw them give it to Robertson. So it's like a nice
especially when it's like a rookie getting his first goal in his first game. Players are going to be all over that. Yeah. Well, actually, I guess it depends on
who won it
because their last game Saturday. Who got the belt Saturday?
I don't know. Was it Stolars? No, probably not.
I don't think so.
He let in 3 goals.
It would have been your boy Mitchell.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He got the belt with the OT winner. So Mitchell Marner, who do we think he would appoint?
He gives it to Minton.
I think so too. I
think
think so too. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, but I think like we touch upon a little bit, but that Dewar, he's a player. That guy's a player.
Yeah.
Like just like a hockey player, like the cliche, every kind of characteristic, like a guy who just has no regard for his well-being. He's just going to throw himself, like launch himself. And I don't think he's much more than 6 feet, 6'1", maybe. So he's not like the biggest guy on the ice, but man, he's always in there. I think he had a good 3 or 4 hits tonight. Simone Benoit, props to him coming back to the lineup. He was a heavy presence there tonight.
He gives the puck away a whole lot, though, that Benoit.
I thought he was better tonight, though, but he's been turning it over like a lot this year, which obviously, led to his benching. Well deserved, I think, but I think he kind of had a very solid game tonight. And him and Timmins were good as a pair. It was the Riley OEL pair that it felt like whenever Vegas had like multiple shots on net, it was like Riley and OEL just like, chicken with its head cut off, had no idea where they needed to be. Not a great night for that pair, but that's probably the one blemish I would offer tonight. Well, those guys and 89.
Yeah, Nicky Robertson.
Have to throw an 89 again because, it just ain't happening for him.
Yeah, I'm sure Nick Robertson was one of the happiest guys in the room when that 5-game suspension dropped for Ryan Reeves. Opened up a nice juicy roster spot for him and Steves. But it's that's given him a good window to show what he can do. But unfortunately, he's just not doing.
He's just not doing it. And again, we're gonna hear like, well, opportunity. Give him an opportunity. What more opportunity does he need? Like, I don't know what you want to do. Like, everybody tonight was playing with probably lesser line mates than they usually would, because no Domi, no Matthews, no, I don't know if it's lesser when David Kampf is out, but everyone's playing with different line mates. And like, it's like, Nick Robertson has had the opportunity to play with good players. Like, has he had a chance to play with Marner and Matthews? No. But if he can't make things happen with Domi or, Minton, like, at what point do we say, like, oh, okay, give him a shot here? No. Got to earn it, and he's not. But the one thing I'll say, I don't know if this is, like, probably not a hot take, because it should be pretty obvious for most fans. But you want to know what I think the key is to the Maple Leafs advancing far in the playoffs. You want to hear what it is? If the Leafs can somehow keep Yarncroke and David Kampf on LTIR all year, I think this team is going to absolutely kick ass in the playoffs. Because if they free up that cap, they don't have to bring those guys back, because they sure as hell, it doesn't look like they're going to trade either of them, because they probably can't. But, and I don't think the Kampf injury is that bad. Yarncroke's might be. But Kampf right now, he's on LTIR. He's not eligible to come back till December 16th now. Yeah. So he's out for a while. If they can somehow, find a way to extend that injury, and I get it. Obviously, if he's healthy, he's got to come off. But like, that to me would be almost like just found money.
Well, you should ask the Golden Knights what they should do,
Exactly. Yeah, they're for sure in the right environment. They could have just gone over to Brad McCrimmon's suite. Be like, how did you convince the NHL to keep Mark Stone on LTIR? What did you do? Did you have to get a medical report, or do you just forge it?
Yeah. Like, do you have some German doctor that you have on staff that you're paying?
Yeah.
Because we got them too. We're interviewing them this week.
Yeah. That's where we got Austin Matthews. Got to go to Germany to talk to the doctor. But it's still day to day. Day to day. We're not worried.
Yeah, no, it's definitely still day to day. The guy hasn't stayed in weeks, but we're day to day here.
Yeah, it's just something that's uncomfortable for him. It's more discomfort than an injury. Yeah. Sure, Craig and Brad, we believe you. We believe you.
I think we got to hash this one out. Like, what is this guy doing in Germany? I think that's the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. Like, to send our star player to some German clinic mid-season, like. We've never had more back-to-back scheduled, and there's Austin getting on a flight for Germany. Like, I know we're into this stretch of 3 games in like 13 days, which wasn't the case when Matthews first departed the team, not Germany. But like, what is it about Germany?
Yeah.
You got any ideas?
I mean, I guess there's a specialist, but I don't know. Like, that to me is obviously a red flag, and no one is like suggesting anything different. Like, no one other than the Maple Leafs PR team and Tree Living and Berube, no one other than those individuals are saying, oh, well, it's just kind of like pretty routine. If you need that second or third opinion, you hop on the bird to Frankfurt, and then everything will kind of get figured out there. But like, there's no way. There's something really wrong.
Can't they bring the German doctor to Toronto? Like, you would think, I don't know. I guess this guy is
perhaps
that scientist. But
unless he's got something in his clinic that's like a magic potion and he can't transport it to Canada. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it ain't good. It ain't good.
I guess
Like,
it's, yeah, like,
he's not on the ice. They keep kind of delaying. It's day to day, then it's week to week. He's on LTIR now. He's going, like, it changes almost every day. And clearly they know what's going on. It's not like I think the Leafs are like confused or this was all of a sudden, oh, wait, you are really in pain, Matthews. Okay, let's hop on that bird to Germany. They've probably known for a while he's not playing anytime soon, but they have to do the token. Yeah, it's an upper body. He won't skate today, but yeah, we're hopeful for tomorrow. No,
well,
you weren't.
he's
You weren't
back.
hopeful.
Allegedly, he's back in Toronto. He's not in Germany anymore.
He's back now. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know that I don't think he's skated since, but he's in the discussion for Sunday night with Utah in town. I think that's a no starter. I do not think they would keep him playing on Sunday just to
Probably
be
not.
off until I think we play again next Wednesday with the Panthers. So I think they give him
Yeah, it makes sense to keep him out through the weekend. Yeah. Although, I mean, we've been saying this for like 2 weeks now. Yeah, well, it's a back-to-back, so you don't want to play him there. And now
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like, okay, well,
We keep
a long
making these-
layoff, maybe he can play
Yeah.
against Vegas. And now another long layoff, maybe he would just rest up and play in Utah. But they're going to rule. I think they already basically ruled him out for Utah game. I think
Okay.
it was like the next 2 he's out. So
Not
crazy,
that this,
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And not that this factored into the Matthews injury, but with all the injuries that we've had stacking up right now, I sure hope that next year, if we are looking at a schedule with that many unprecedented back-to-backs, that we push back.
You're
I
saying
think that,
you and I, or
yeah, I think the fans should revolt. If the schedule drops and we have a stretch of games that's that
Yeah.
condensed, I think that that's really contributed to wear and tear that just is getting exasperated by these condensed games. And, usually guys, like I think Domi, they said that it's a groin issue and he's been playing through it. But
Yeah.
when, you have enough days off, you can kind of, things flare down.
settle down and everything for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's probably worth at least drafting an email to Gary Bettman and just
I
kind of
don't know.
like, just kind of saying that we're not happy about it and we hope that you can address it in the near future.
yeah, like,
But all kidding aside, yeah, it's just mind-boggling how the NHL, like, and I get it, it's probably more of a auto schedule maker. I don't think
I
they have.
don't think so.
Well, I'm
We
sure they
always-
I'm sure they put their inputs that, okay, you need to play each division team, a certain amount of times, and then they kind of have all these inputs into a system, and it spits out a template, and then, yeah, they might override a couple things, but I don't think they have someone being like, okay, who's up? Saturday, October 8th. I'm sure they're doing some manipulation, but you think they're
Okay.
going every day of the season, like someone just with a pen or a pencil and, okay, who should Colorado play tonight? No way.
No, I
No
think that
way.
we have the biggest audience, and so I think that they try to put other games in major, like obviously we get the Saturday night games, except for this Saturday we're off, and I think
Right.
they know that we're going to draw the audience, so they sometimes schedule, like, we don't have a lot of Thursday games, which might be a bigger audience night. I really do think that they earmark us as like a baked in audience base.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely that intervention where they're like, yeah, we want to have Leafs, obviously the Amazon Monday night games. The Leafs have more of those than anyone. The Leafs, aside from this Saturday, are pretty much always on the Saturday schedule. So I'm not saying they just press go on their algorithm and then they just spit out a schedule and they're like, okay, I guess that's what we're doing. Print it.
Okay, we can take this offline, but I truly think we are victimized as a fan base.
For sure we
it's
are.
just back-to-backs, not just in terms of reffing, not just in terms of stuff that happens to us, but truly, I think that we face crap schedules, and that's
Talk about it.
yeah. So anyway, I think
It's a
I think we
legit
should
beef.
move on.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. And look, I'm sure if we unpacked it, or if the handful of fans that the Columbus Blue Jackets have, they might say, well, yeah, but have a look at what our schedule is like. Problem is, there'd be nobody who cares if they're complaining. But obviously, Leaf fans are more in tune to what's going on around the league. And when they see themselves having 4-game weeks followed by back-to-back 2-game weeks, it's like, well, hold on a second here. That shouldn't really ever happen. There's no reason for it unless they're going to say, well, there was arena bookings at some of these cities that prevented that from being a 3-game week, or it had to be a 4-game week. But that's all garbage. Conspiracy theory all the way. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So we got from Daniel, we might see Alex Nylander call up. Probably not, only because he doesn't have an NHL contract, right? So I don't think they have enough like numbers in terms of availability on the team to sign another NHL contract. Like it just seems like that would be tough logistically.
Do you think had he been signed to an NHL contract, we may have seen him tonight over a guy like Minton or a guy like Gerbrionkin?
I love that. You're gonna pronounce it like differently every time.
And
even that latest attempt might not be right. I think it's Nikita Grebionkin.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's
Grebionkin. Yeah.
Do you think that Alex Nylander, he's been firing it up for the Marlies?
He's been playing well. A lot of production. I mean, all those guys, they're obviously the ones that are called up now. Alex Steves and Minton and Grebionkin have also produced well. So those are probably their, I'd say, 4 best forwards since the beginning of the year. So, yeah, obviously, Alex Nylander would probably be next in line, or you could argue Grebionkin would have been behind Nylander had the contract situation been different. Yeah.
Do you know if Easton Cowan is still on that point streak with the Knights?
52 games, I believe.
Is it
52 now?
He's still active?
I don't think he played tonight. I will check.
So that is the longest OHL point streak in history.
No, he's 2 games away from it.
Is it? I thought he got ahead.
54 is the number that he has to get to. Good question. I always forget the guy's name. OHL.
Steven Stamkos.
No, he's got. The Leafs prospect is now only 3. Whoa! Why didn't I know that? 55 games held by Dougie Gilmour.
Wow.
Why didn't I immediately know that? I thought it was someone else. That's pretty cool. Easton Cowan could break the record by Gilmour.
Tell us the other names on the list. It's pretty impressive to see the history, see the company that he's in.
Let's see it. That one thing I saw was just like one.
Oh, okay.
Just telling who had the record. Yeah, he's knocking on the door. 50 games. Yeah, so he has a chance to break it on November 28th. Yeah, wow. I can't find a list of the next. But that's pretty crazy. Gilmour had the record. Okay.
Where did Gilmour play? The Colts?
He was he wasn't Guelph. Was it Kingston?
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me see if I can find it quickly. Knocking on the door.
2 is over 2 season studies. Daniel's saying that Cowan's is over 2 seasons. Dougie's wasn't. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it carries over from regular season last OHL season.
He played for Cornwall, Doug Gilmour.
Okay.
The no longer existing franchise. But wow. He had 177 points in 68 games that year, Doug Gilmour. It's not bad. That's a good season.
That is a very good season. So I think while we're on the topic of streaks or records, that Ovechkin injury is pretty heartbreaking, eh?
Yeah. Have they said how long he's out for?
I think they're saying it's week to week.
Right. So... Of course they are. Week to week. Everyone is week to week.
Yeah. But you know what's crazy?
Saying MCL injury. MCL, that doesn't feel like, unless it's just a very light sprain, but MCL could be, that could be months. Yeah.
You don't want that.
That's tough.
A 39-year-old dude. But what was going on with Ovechkin last year? If he's able to be the NHL goal scoring leader this year, He's got like
Mhm.
15 or something. What was up with him last season when he just didn't produce at all?
Well, he was very good in the second half, right? He kind of found his game a little bit,
Yeah,
but the
Washington
first
sort of
40
found
games
their
were
stride.
awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the team is really good now, so that probably helps a little bit. But
Yeah,
it was weird seeing him be completely cold through the first half of last year. But yeah, now it looks like we're gonna have to wait until next year for him to break it.
Yeah. Which is probably what most people expected. Like it was going to be really exciting down the stretch had he stayed
Oh, yeah.
healthy. We would get an NHL post every single day of his next friggin' goal, 30 goals or whatever he needs to tie
Yeah, it's like
Gretzky.
29 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of, I was getting a little bit tired of seeing the Ovechkin every single day. So
Yeah, because it's not.
just-
It isn't as if we went through something like that with our guy
we
Austin
might have.
Matthews. Where
We
like,
may
yeah.
just have. Yeah.
So Austin Matthews on the goal watch for 60. Austin Matthews goal watch for 70. Let's see how he tied his skates before the game tonight. Yeah.
Oh, that definitely, that was very exciting though. Okay. As a Leafs fan,
yeah.
that
No, it was for sure. No, I'm not downplaying it. I was definitely dialed in or locked into all those play-by-plays of how he's approaching the game and what he's what he did today versus not.
I don't know. I think I detect some sarcasm. My sarcasm meter is going off for
There's
you
a little
right now.
bit. Yeah. That was a very good catch by you. There was a little bit there. Antonio says
Thank you.
Minton and Gribyankin better than Domi and Reeves and Camp and Robertson and Yarncroke.
Oh, that's some heavy words.
That's a big group there, but he might not be wrong. He might not be wrong there. I think obviously I think Minton and Gribyankin, you got a lot of that first game kind of just riding the adrenaline. Will there be a little bit of the inevitable kind of coming back down to earth and maybe not performing as well? But I like both their games in training camp and preseason. I think they both have a good shot to be NHL contributors, not first line type players, but top 9 forwards probably. So I think it's exciting how they looked. Just how we were talking about Cowan before. It just kind of it still kind of irks me that Cowan didn't make the team.
It doesn't irk me at all. That guy is too small. I can see him not converting. I don't think he's going to convert to an NHL talent for a while. No, yeah.
Were you not part of the conversation we just had where he's about to break Dougie Gilmore's point record?
It's OHL. Do you remember how well Nick Robertson played in preseason? He had a 5 consecutive goals. That's going to be Cowan. He's going to come up to the show and he's going to get slammed.
Why are you throwing shade on our boy Cowan? What he's doing in the OHL. Oh my goodness. Oh, chat. You got to come in here. What Cowan's doing, he's a point a game. He's
a
goal
a game in the OHL.
A goal a game. Goal a game.
He's
that's
playing
impressive.
With little boys right now.
Yeah, for sure he is. For sure. But he's dominating those little boys. Dominating them. That probably doesn't sound very good.
I was going to say, I don't think we should. I don't think we should continue with this narrative.
Right there. Yeah. Offside. 2 minutes misconduct. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's at least 5 games for you.
Yeah. I should get more of a penalty or discipline for that than Zach Whitecloud got. That's for sure. But no, we don't have to dwell too much on the Cowan. And I'm not even saying he's the next superstar, but he's going to be an impactful forward.
Okay. Yeah. Let's make a bet. I don't know.
Absolutely. How much?
I don't know. Let's set his over-under goals at 20 next season. He goes way under.
Sorry, over-under at how many? 20?
20.
Look, I don't think he's going to be a big-time point producer. I think he's like a 70-point guy ceiling. So he's just going to
be like a David Camp then?
No. Well, Camp offers nothing. Cowan will have more of a two-way game.
Oh, wow.
But I would say his ceiling is probably 25 goals. But I'll take that. That could still be a very good player. But
I'm not an NHL scout.
In year one.
I just see that his size is not exactly what we're looking for.
No, he's not a big guy, but tiny. Like he's not tiny. Like he's yeah. Okay, well we can go back to that because we can kind of have like a maybe a two-pronged bet. Like maybe like sort of like a same game future where we have you could have the Joseph Wall and Eason Cowan will not be impactful NHLers, and I will take the other side, and we can revisit in 2 years, 3 years.
I'm not saying Joseph Wall isn't going to be an impactful NHLer. I'm just saying they should have started Stolarz tonight.
Here, let me just break out the tape from episode 9. Caroline, here's what was said. Just kidding. No, I know you've liked him, but yeah, you had your doubts, and a lot of it for the same reasons that every Leaf fan almost has. Like, we haven't seen enough because he's always hurt. And there's no denying that.
I agree. And I think were you not a little surprised to hear that they named Wall the starter tonight against, one of the best teams in the West? We have
a little bit,
until Sunday when we play Utah, glorified Phoenix Coyotes.
Right. Yeah. No, a little bit surprised just because, I think most fans, and I think maybe I would have thought Berube had it like an easy call for who's got the net. It's Stolarz. He's the number one guy. But maybe that's more just kind of the narrative out there from most fans that, well, look at how Stolarz has been, and Wall, screwed us over by being hurt for Game 7, and then also at the beginning of the year. So, of course, Stolarz has to be the consensus number one for the organization.
Yeah, maybe it's old trauma that is.
It might still be a 1A, 1B situation. And it was Wall, because of how few games the Leafs have played over the last week. If you did play Wall today, then you're well over a week of not playing. Whereas Stolarz, it will just be a week, assuming he plays against Utah.
Yeah.
Could be that.
Berube did mention the word rotation today or yesterday, whenever he made his pregame comments, I guess today.
Right.
Which was the first time that, and I think they said this on the panel, that I've ever heard it as a rotation.
Yeah.
Which sort of.
She did not hear that, but that kind of speaks to what we're suggesting here, that maybe it's not a Stolarz is the number one by a mile here. It's like, I mean, if we play 3 games in a week, Stolarz might get 2 of them. But when we have a situation where there's 2 games a week, I don't care how much rest we have. I want Wall to get to work. And if he keeps throwing up a shutty, he'll probably get more. He'll probably get more of that work. But it's a good problem to have, where we're like, oh, will Stolarz be insulted that he didn't get tonight's game? Probably not, because I think it was very clear when he signed that he was coming here to compete and try and be a starter. And I think he's already got more games than he could have ever imagined. And I think he's still going to get a lot more than he ever thought. But I don't think they want Stolarz to play any more than 50 games. Or Wall.
Best goals against in the league right now.
Well, I think now, is he the best GA? I know he was top 5 Stolarz.
Yeah, he's the best. Yeah, as of today. Yep.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And Wall's top 10 as well. Probably moved himself up into top 7 or 8, I would think.
Yeah, probably did. I was surprised to see Hellebuck wasn't at the top of the list, to be honest, but he was like 4th. There's only like 0.01 that separates the goalies for goals against in the top 4.
Oh, actually, this is kind of a fun one here.
Yeah.
So after tonight, goaltenders who have played more than 5 games, you know who's got the lowest GAA in the league? It is not Stolarz.
What? Who is it? Samson.
I'll give you one. No way. I'll give you one more guess.
It's not Hellebuck. Not Hellebuck?
It's not Hellebuck. Nope. He's close, but Hellebuck. No, okay. You probably won't guess it. I was trying to kind of lead you there, but Joseph Wall.
What? He does not have the best goals against.
He has a 2 GAA, even 2.
Wow.
There are guys who have played one, like Jonathan Quick has played. I mean, I obviously made it, I kind of obviously made the minimum games played very convenient for what I wanted to see. Okay. But 6 games or more, any goalie who's played 6 games or more, Joe Woll has the lowest GAA.
Oh my God. But overall, I'm pretty sure it's still ours. Right? I saw that on Instagram today.
What do you mean overall? Like,
any
if you're
open games.
So if you're saying if you had because Stolarz is even behind Vasilevsky and Philip Gustafsson. Yeah.
Leafs Poppy. He posted something that Stolarz had the best. Anyway,
don't leave anything Leafs Poppy posts. He's just there for entertainment. He's not there for information, just entertainment.
I guess he doctored something then. But wow, that's crazy about Woll. Like that's a big boost to that guy.
And I think most Leaf fans would just be in shambles. Like you would hope that they would be like, well, cool, that's our guy. But I think there's enough of a faction of Leaf fans that like wanted Woll to fail because they've convinced themselves that he is not the guy. And they've put it out there into Leafs Twitter. They've come onto my TikTok lives and said, you're wrong. Woll is not good enough. He's never going to be good enough. It's Stolarz' net. And all I've said is, look, I think Stolarz is an amazing goalie too. We have 2 amazing goalies. I'm okay with the best guy playing. I'm just telling you, Woll is a very talented goalie. And right now, the stats would suggest that he is that.
Well, goals against, it certainly doesn't hurt that we have guys like Tanev, guys like, OEL gets a number, like throwing their bodies at the pucks, blocking the shots before they get to the net. I think our defense, our boosted defense from last season is really contributing to some of these better numbers that we're seeing. And got to give the defense their flowers. Like when can you remember in the history of the Leafs that our 2 greatest assets was our goaltending and our defense?
Probably 1992, maybe.
Yeah,
yeah, in those early days where we had that great D with guys like Todd Gill, Dave Ellett, Bob Rouse, Jamie McCowan. That would probably be the last time. Yeah. Right?
Like this is a nice problem to have that we're complaining about our forward depth. We're probably going to be a fine at forward. Like that wasn't really, something that people were concerned about going into this season.
Well, I'd say the forward depth we were all worried about, but at the end of the day, you knew the goals were going to be there. Like this team was going to be top 5, top 10 in goals scored. There shouldn't have ever been a concern about that. I mean, obviously, if you told me that Matthews, Domi would all miss time, Nyes now maybe, yeah, sure, there might be a little bit of a concern where, like, exactly where would those goals come from. But this team was always probably expected to be a top 5 offensive team.
Yeah. Then we had that power play drought for a while, and it was like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. But I think we've sorted that out a little bit. Don't think we got a power play goal tonight, did we?
Goal? No, we did not. I don't think. I actually just saw, and I mean, I hate doing this, but these stats just keep, smacking me in the face. But Joseph Woll, from an expected goals allowed by our friends at Money Puck, expected goals allowed 3.5. That's how many they figure based on like high danger shot attempts.
Wow.
There should have been over 3 goals allowed.
I like that stat.
So, very cool.
Really did get a power play goal. I missed that. I didn't miss that.
Was the power play? Okay. Nice.
I like that.
So the power play keeps on climbing. Love it.
Yeah, that's
Love
great.
It. Yeah. So what else we got?
We got Boston obviously firing their coach, but that's not super Leafs related.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's kind of a big one. I mean, you look at the record he's had, Jim Montgomery, and you're like, really? Like, I get it. It always happens, like in every sport, every league, where it's like, well, is it really the fault of the coach? Like, maybe it's the GM, but the GM's like, well, if I don't fire the coach, I'm probably gone. So I've got to pretend that, I got to use that one more bullet that I've got and fire my coach, and hopefully we turn it around. And if we do, I can say, yeah, I built a good team. It was just the coach who couldn't get it done.
They're
I don't think that was the problem.
no, they're looking for that Oilers script from last season.
Could be.
When they
Could be.
brought on Knobloch and then they turned
Yep.
things around. But yeah,
Yep.
like
I
Jim
just don't
Montgomery,
think they're going to have the same luck because they don't have McDavid and Draisaitl.
that's so true. They don't quite have them, and their core is just getting older and older.
Yep.
And they didn't do a whole lot. They did bring in Zadorov this offseason, but he's not been huge for them. Not a big impact.
No, I haven't heard too much from him. I mean, it's crazy. Like the coach got fired, but like I think Boston, maybe not as of tonight, but like even like going to yesterday, they were in a playoff spot, like a wild card spot.
Yeah,
So
like
they've been terrible.
Like they're just under 500.
And I get it. For the ownership, that's not good enough, nor would it be good enough for a team like Toronto, a team like the Rangers, Florida, Dallas. So I get it. Bar is high, but you're also 20 games in where it's like, okay, sky can't be falling yet. You're still in the picture, but I guess, I don't know. Maybe who knows?
Josh just said here that Montgomery threw his players under the bus after he got fired. I did not see that press conference. I can't wait to watch that after this chat here.
He's even done that before he got fired. Like he's always been a guy
with
Pasternak. Yeah,
that's for sure.
There's a Brad Marchand comment too. Like he isn't shy with calling out players.
That's kind of cool. I mean, he won the Jack Adams 2 years ago when they had the best regular season in the history of the NHL. So it's not like the guy isn't a strong coach leader. I think that, there's been a few things that have gone on in Bruins land. Like they had those long, those overly extended chats with Swayman that ran in training camp. Swayman's goals against right now, it's like over 3.5.
His stats are awful. He looks terrible.
Garbage. Yeah. Like I wonder
if you look at how the Bruins obviously were good and how they kind of like were always a tough team to play against. It was always goaltending. Like they weren't scoring a lot of goals, and they're not this year. The difference is their goaltending is in tops in the league, which it has been for the better part of the last 2-3 years with Allmark and Swayman. So that I think was kind of the inevitable for this team. If your goaltending wasn't going to be giving you a 9.25 save percentage and a 2.2 GAA over the course of the year, you're probably not going to win too many hockey games.
They've always had such good goaltending, going back to like Tim Thomas and Rask. Like that's been their recipe is goaltending with teams that will just break you down physically. And like they have a certain archetype.
Weird how that could be a team's recipe.
How that works,
In every city, every market, but Toronto. In Toronto, we never felt that really seemed to matter. You don't need that.
No, you just need to pay for the most expensive forwards you can get on your team, and that should be good.
Yep.
Until this year.
As long as you're talented, you'll figure it out. You'll figure out how to get that puck back from the 6'5", 225, 230 pound D-man. As long as you are more talented than him. Right.
I guess we're very lucky. It's very nice to be in this position right now, seeing the Leafs win a lot of games. It's fun to be a Leafs fan. Like we're not getting ahead of ourselves. We're not trying to look ahead too much to the playoffs, but like at least seeing a product on the ice that we've really been looking for a lot of years. Good point.
A team that's built the right way, and there's just more pride in cheering for them. And actually, we didn't even touch upon this, but like the Leafs are now first in the Atlantic, right?
Yeah, that was tonight, right? Pulled in.
Because Florida did not play. Florida has a game in hand. So obviously, if you brag about that on Twitter, people will be quick to be, oh yeah, but Florida's played one less game. Yeah. But all I can do is see that the Maple Leafs are at the top of the table.
So nice.
It's pretty cool.
Oh God. And when it comes down to the wire, like kind of nice to be in that first position because you can kind of you can pick your opponent a little bit of a way, right? Like
like if you get the wild card team, that could be a little bit of an easier path for sure.
Or you kind of send it for your last few games if you want that third place team. Sorry, no. You could move into second and then get that third place team. Yeah.
get
I'd
home ice.
like home ice is big. We don't have home ice a lot in the playoffs.
You know what would actually be pretty funny? Because the Bruins are kind of tied for a wild card spot.
Oh
If the
God.
Leafs finish first, they potentially could play the Bruins right
Well,
now.
of course we would. Of course we
Yeah,
would.
yeah.
Um,
Like that would be the most Leafy thing where it's like, oh yeah, finally we finished first in our division, easier path. And here come the Boston Bruins, who just made a big acquisition at the trade deadline. That would be the
big
most Leafy
acquisition,
thing.
had a huge second half of the season.
Yeah.
Well, not really huge, I guess, if they just slid into the wild card spot.
Right.
But neither of those things sound good to me. Yeah.
No, too early to worry about that matchup, but that would just be pretty funny.
What do you know about this Joe Sacco, the Bruins' new coach?
I know he got passed over for the job before, so I don't think he's a long-term solution there. I think it's just kind of, I think they probably have someone in mind. Like, I've heard a couple people talk about maybe Joel Quenneville as a fit, but I think with what the Bruins dealt with, forget the issue, was it a domestic violence issue with one of their drafted players? So they've had some off-ice PR stuff that's not great. I don't think they want to deal with Joel Quenneville right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see that. I think they're going to go after a big name. I don't see Joe Sacco being the long-term answer there. But, I mean, he's definitely been a name that's come up and passed for, like, other vacancies. So, yeah, they might give him a little bit of a shot to see what he can do. But I would think they want a big name in there.
Yeah, I think that's probably what they'll go for. So you mean they would look for that big name in the offseason, or they bring that new guy in soon?
No, I think they'd probably hire someone sooner than later. Like, could be like a Todd McLellan, maybe.
Yeah,
he's still out there.
Yeah.
His name's out there, even though, like, he just basically has maybe like one good year with every team he gets hired from, and then 3 bad years, and he's fired. And then the next team says, like, oh, but remember he had that one good year. Yeah, let's bring him in. Like, he just feels like just a very mid coach where it's like,
he does.
He's got experience. I think he, when he's with San Jose, I think he took them to the Cup final. So people will talk about his playoff record, that it's okay, but he didn't do a lot with Edmonton, didn't do a lot at the Kings. So I don't know. I'm glad the Leafs didn't pick him over Berube. That's for sure.
Oh, I'm just loving Berube right now. When they named Berube, I was sort of surprised. Like, I thought we might go for Quenneville, actually. But yeah, I don't think anyway, I know that Treliving interviewed like everybody that had a phone. So, I think they made the best choice.
I mean, apparently, although like all these reporters were like, yeah, it's Berube before like anything ever opened. Like, there were so many people saying, oh, it's for sure Berube. And then it's like, oh, but he also interviewed McLellan and a couple other names. So, Daniel says the belt pictures are out.
Will you drop it?
Boy.
Will you tell us? Tell us.
I'm going to Twitter now. The belt is Fraser Minton.
Yeah. Okay.
Way to go, Fraser. Way to go, Fraser.
Yep. I guess I think we were pretty right. Like, I mean, we tossed around him and Wool.
I feel it's the right pick. Like, I don't know if that would happen in every locker room in a different sport, but I think that hockey kind of unity, that camaraderie, I think like it's always been like, okay, they're always so like they do the rookie, he takes the lap on the ice all by himself before the rest of the team joins him. There's always just something very special about, guy getting his first game when he obviously scores the goal. You see like everyone trying to grab the puck from the ref. So they always make a big deal about the first game, first goal. So it's pretty cool.
Well, good for him. Be exciting to see him the next couple games, because it looks like we got a few roster spots to fill. Yeah,
he's gonna get a little bit of run because obviously Camp, Max Domi, probably Matthews not back anytime soon. So we will see quite a bit more of Minton.
Maybe Nyes.
Yeah, I mean Nyes I wouldn't expect to be available for Utah. So
shoot, wow.
I don't know who comes up next. Is it a Hervinen? I don't know.
I don't know.
Bad. Yeah,
no, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Well, I think we're just about wrapped up here, but it was very fun. Appreciate everyone for joining. We will potentially, Caroline, be back on
I'm good for
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
My sister's having a baby on Sunday, actually.
No
So
way.
yeah,
Oh, so you
yeah.
probably will not, or you should
Well,
not be available.
like I'm going to, we don't really know when it'll be born, but
True.
I'm a hard
You got to be
candidate,
on
let's
call
say.
though. Yeah.
I'm sure I'm hoping to be back home by the time the game starts. Not that I'm considering the game, but just like in terms of travel and whatnot,
Fair enough.
I'm
Okay,
hoping
we can
to be
play it
born.
by ear. I was actually considering going to the game. I'm not sure yet, but
yeah?
I don't know. With this team, 9-3 home record, I don't know. I don't want to just see the parade go by and not be a part of it.
Oh, you have a
You know?
couple games coming up. Season ticket holder. You get the first right of refusal, which is nice.
For sure. It won't be my last chance to go to a game, but I feel like a Sunday feels like a pretty cool, like there's not too many Sunday games, especially in Toronto.
Very
so
true.
you can make an entire day of it. You've got football games.
Yeah.
You park yourself at the bar at 1 p.m.
Yeah, that's
and just
fun.
go all the way through. So I'm considering that at the moment.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, when you put it like that,
could be a nice little shift there.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. But yeah, we will figure it out and or see what's going on for Sunday. But awesome win for the Maple Leafs. Appreciate everyone for joining us as always. Yeah. And leave us a comment, give us your feedback, and we will be back with you shortly. Yeah. Have a good one, everyone.
Good night.
Oh, Canada. Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.